K-drama haven family. There are moments in the entertainment world that shimmer with glamour, red carpets, flashing lights, the thunder of applause. But there are also moments when all of that fades away. Moments when the stars gather not to celebrate, but to mourn. Moments when even the brightest lights are dimmed by grief. And in September of 2025, such a moment arrived. Hold on tight, K-drama haven family, because this journey is only just beginning. The world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. The revelations, the emotions, the moments that will change everything. The world bid farewell to Menglong, a beloved actor, a gentle soul, a man whose quiet strength and soft smile touched millions across Asia. His passing was sudden, his loss unbearable. Fans flooded the streets with flowers, photos, candles, and tears. Online spaces became memorials. Tributes poured in from every corner of the industry. But it was at his funeral where the depth of his impact was most painfully clear. The atmosphere was heavy. Black umbrellas lined the gates. Cameras clicked in hushed restraint, and the air carried the weight of silence. And then, among the grieving crowd, two familiar figures appeared. Chang Wook, Hyun, walking side by side, their steps solemn, their expressions carved with sorrow. For years, these two have been adored for their on-screen chemistry, celebrated for their warmth and closeness. But on this day, there were no scripts, no performances, no roles to play. They had come, as themselves, to say goodbye. Fans watching from afar felt a lump in their throats. Seeing them together, Chang Wook's tall frame shielding, Hyun's quiet grace beside him, reminded everyone of the fragile bond between life, love, and loss. And they were not alone. Other artists soon arrived, each carrying their own grief. Faces once radiant under spotlights, now veiled in tears. Actors, singers, colleagues who had once shared stages and screens with Menglong, now united in mourning. It was a heartbreaking scene, a procession not of glamour, but of humanity. Some stars bowed deeply at the casket, others held hands, finding strength in silence. Some whispered prayers, others simply stood, tears streaking down their faces, unable to contain the weight of goodbye. And when Chang Wook and Hyun stepped forward to pay their respects, cameras captured the tenderness of the moment. Chang Wook lowered his head, his jaw tight, his eyes red with emotion. Hyun pressed her hands together, whispering words no one could hear, but that everyone could feel. For fans, it was devastating and beautiful at once, because in that quiet room, filled with grief, there was also unity. The unity of an industry saying farewell to one of its own. The unity of friends walking together through sorrow. When the service ended, the artists walked in solemn silence to escort Menglong to his final resting place. And among them, Chang Wook and Hyun remained side by side. Not actors, not celebrities, but friends honoring a life that mattered. The images from that day spread across the internet. Fans wept. Others lit candles in their own homes, joining the grief from afar. Messages poured in, not just for Menglong, but for the stars who carried his memory with dignity and love. And though no performance, no award, no spotlight could ever compare to the weight of that moment, one truth lingered in the hearts of all who watched, that beyond the glamour, beyond the fame, these stars are human. They love, they lose, they mourn, they remember. Menglong may be gone, but in the footsteps of those who escorted him on his final journey, in the tears of Chang Wook, in the prayers of Hyun, in the silence of countless other artists, his legacy lives on. Outside the hall, thousands of fans gathered. Some had traveled across cities, others across borders. Many clutched photos of Menglong in their hands, smiling still, frozen in moments that would now live only on screen. There were flowers, white chrysanthemums, their petals trembling in the autumn breeze. There were candles, their flames flickering like fragile hearts refusing to go out. And there was silence, the kind of silence that speaks louder than words. Reporters stood at a distance, cameras lowered more often than raised, as if even they understood that this was not a spectacle, but a sacred moment. Inside, the hall was filled with hushed sobs and whispers of prayer. Then, the doors opened. Chang Wook and Hyun stepped out, joining the line of artists who would accompany Menglong on his final journey. The sight was unforgettable. Chang Wook, usually so confident and commanding, moved with a heaviness in his step. His hand lingered at Hyun's back, a quiet gesture of comfort. She walked with her head slightly bowed, her eyes glistening, her hands clasped tightly around a single white flower. Beside them, other stars followed, some known for their laughter, now cloaked in sorrow, some known for their elegance, now stripped down to grief. Each carried a part of Menglong's memory, each a living testament to the connections he had forged. Together, they formed a solemn procession. As the casket was lifted, the artists surrounded it. The weight was heavy, not just the wood, not just the body, but the unbearable truth that they were carrying a friend, a brother, a colleague, to his final rest. And yet, in that weight, there was also honor, because to carry him was to love him one last time. To walk with him was to ensure he was not alone. The crowd outside erupted into tears at the sight. Fans pressed their hands to their hearts, some collapsing into each other's arms. Others whispered, "Goodbye, Menglong, thank you." As the casket moved forward, the artists moved with it, step by step, silent, steady, together. Chang Wook's jaw was clenched, as though holding back the storm within. Hyun wiped her tears with the back of her hand, only for new ones to fall. But neither faltered, neither stepped away. They stayed, until the very end. When the procession reached the hearse, the casket was laid inside. The doors closed with a final, echoing sound that pierced through the silence. The artists stood in stillness, heads bowed, hands folded, and then one by one, they placed flowers upon the vehicle, white blooms against black metal, symbols of love that even death could not erase. When it was Chang Wook's turn, he placed his flower with a trembling hand. He whispered something no microphone could catch, but his lips told the story of a farewell spoken from the heart. Hyun followed. Her flower lingered longer in her grasp, as if she could not bear to let it go. And when she finally placed it down, she pressed her fingers gently against the glass. A final touch, a final goodbye. The hearse began to move, slowly, quietly, through the sea of fans, through the tears of friends, through the prayers of strangers. And behind it, Chang Wook, Hyun, and the other artists walked, not in front of cameras, not for applause, but in a last act of devotion. Fans online would later call it a march of love. Others called it the final scene of a life too short. But for those who were there, it was something deeper. It was proof that in an industry often defined by competition, by schedules, by the fleeting nature of fame, there exists something greater, a bond that goes beyond scripts, a loyalty that extends beyond screens, a love that does not end, even when a life does. When the hearse disappeared from view, many of the artists wept openly. Some embraced each other, some stood frozen, unable to move. Chang Wook pulled Hyun gently into his arms, shielding her from the cameras, letting her cry against his chest. That image spread across the world. Two beloved actors, grieving not as stars but as friends. And in that moment, millions of fans who once adored them for their dramas saw something even more powerful, their humanity. Menglong's story may have ended, but the love surrounding him that day became his legacy. A legacy of kindness, a legacy of friendship, a legacy carried by Chang Wook, Hyun, and every artist who walked beside him one last time. K-Drama Haven family, this was not just a funeral. This was a reminder that life is fragile, but love is eternal. That even when the curtain falls, the memories, the bonds, the light of a person can live on. Menglong is gone, but the march of his friends, the tears of his fans, the unity of an industry, they ensure he will never be forgotten. Because stars may fall, but their light never fades.